Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Home to Inspire DIY and Decor. If you are new, welcome. I would hope that you would consider subscribing. And if you're a returning subscriber or viewer, thank you so much for coming back. Today I wanted to share a quick DIY tutorial on how I created some stocking holders using some items from the Dollar Tree. Let's get started. So I took some of these house-shaped wood decor that came from Dollar Tree, and they came with this buffalo check background pattern with a chalkboard label attached to the front. Now I like the base of this house decor, so I had come up with the idea of making this into a stocking holder just by simply removing the chalkboard label at the front. I went ahead and kept the background of that buffalo check fabric that was on it, and basically just took some fabric of my choice. In this case, I am using some DC Comics themed fabric that I found at Walmart when they were on clearance. It's the fat quarters that they have at the fabric section, and I took 3 of the designs or 3 of the styles that I wanted to use for this project. I am basically using the house as a template to cut out the shape of the house using that fabric, just tracing around the shape. Now this is a pretty hit or miss way of doing it, just because you're not always gonna get an accurate size of the house just by simply tracing it out. So you may end up with smaller fabric size than the house, but there's always ways around it. You can always cut out another template if you have extra fabric on hand like I did. Luckily I had extra on hand. I didn't really need the fabric for another project or anything like that, so I was able to correct my mistake by just simply retracing and recutting a different piece of the fabric. But if you are more accurate with your cutting, then you don't have to worry about that. And basically I used a spray adhesive, but you can use hot glue or any type of adhesive of your choice. But I thought using the spray adhesive would be easier, because sometimes with hot glue on fabric you do get the little bumps when the glue dries, so it has more of an uneven drying look. So I went ahead with using the spray adhesive. The only thing I didn't like was that in certain parts of the house where I might have oversprayed or oversaturated the spray adhesive, it kind of showed through the fabric at the front. But if the little imperfections don't bother you, then this shouldn't be a big issue. But if you're looking more for a perfect outcome, then you may want to just be careful with how much of the spray adhesive that you are actually using or spraying. Maybe using it more in a farther distance when you're spraying it. I was spraying it indoors, so therefore I was not able to really spray from a farther distance, otherwise I'd get glue everywhere. But if you're doing it outdoors, you can definitely spray from a farther distance and you might get less of the oversaturation like I did. I am using a pack of the wooden stockings that came from Dollar Tree. And I also took one of Dollar Tree's off-white looking microfiber towel, or a cleaning towel, and I use that as my um, sort of fur look, because I wanted to line the stocking, the wooden stocking cutout, with what would look like or replicate the look of fur. So I used this microfiber cloth, it's a cleaning cloth, and just traced out the outline of the trim of where the microfiber towel would go, and just cut out the piece and use some hot glue to adhere that. But before doing that, I did paint the wood cutouts in Snow White chalk paint by Waverly. Next, in order to cover up some of the imperfections with regards to where the fabric meets the edges of the house, you're going to get some of the rough edges from where you might have not cut the fabric in a straight line, or where you might have ran short on the fabric pieces. I did use some trim that came from Walmart, and it's in this, it came in a 3-pack of this, it looks like baker's twine, but it's on the thicker side. Baker's twine typically is thin and stringy, but this one came more like a rope style, and it came in 3 different colors. I am using the red and white color. So just using some hot glue, I'm just sort of outlining the inner part of the house, just trimming off the edges. And that adds a little more decorative look to this piece and also hides any imperfections. I also created some vinyl decals on my Cricut, and just simply going on to Design Space, I just spelled out the words of the recipients of this stocking holder. It's just going to be mom, dad, and their baby. And I went ahead and burnished that onto each of the stockings. And when all of the names were adhered to the stockings, I just simply used some adhesive. In this case, I used Tite Bond. You can use hot glue, but I figured as a more permanent hold, I would just use this type of glue, just sparingly spreading it onto the back of each stocking and placing it at an angle over each of the houses. Next, I wanted to create a hanger on the back since these are meant to be freestanding. They are sold as a tabletop decor at the Dollar Tree, but in order to hang this up, I did want to create a hanger in the back and also to make sure that it is able to hold a stocking with, filled up with things. So I just took a piece of jute string, cut it to size, and added some hot glue and just stuck it on just like so. And I repeated the same step with each of the houses. And for added measure, if you wanted to, you can take a piece of felt or some random pieces of fabric and just adhere that to the back of each of the areas where you added the hot glue, just for reinforcement. You don't have to do it, but if you wanted to add a little more security, you can choose to do that. Next, I wanted to add some dimension to the rooftops. It was looking a little plain. I could have opted to paint the rooftops, however, I wanted to give it the look of snow. Using some of this 3D puffy paint from Walmart, I just went ahead and spread some along the trim of the roof so that I'm able to sprinkle on some fine glitter, just adding a little glistening snow to this, or the look of faux glistening snow. I also did the same with the top parts of the roof, not just the front trim, because I felt it was lacking a little something on the top as well. And I repeated the steps with the rest of the houses. And I was really liking the direction that this was going. I think it's turning out really nicely, and I think that this would add a nice addition to any Christmas decor setting, especially if you have kids or just anyone who loves like comics and or any type of Marvel or DC. You can use any type of fabric that would fit that person's style. So it doesn't have to be this type of fabric. If you wanted it to be more traditional or more farmhouse or more elegant, you can just choose the fabric according to the style preference of whoever you are making this for, or if you are creating this for yourself. So here you see I am sprinkling on some of this glitter. I did use some of the white or iridescent glitter, but I did add some of this gold as well. Now, to make this the stocking holder that it is meant to be, I did purchase some of these wall hooks from Lowe's. I actually had one already in my stash, and I used that to test out if it was the right size of hook that I wanted to use for this project, and it was perfect. So I went ahead and purchased a couple more at Lowe's so I can go ahead and attach each of the hooks to each of the houses, creating a stocking holder. And I just went ahead and drilled those into the stocking itself so it would create more of a secure base or more secure hold, making sure that it will hold the weight of any stocking. I am thrilled with how this came out. I think it came out super cute, super sweet. I made this for my daughter and her family, and they love it. And I'm sure if you created this for yourself or your loved ones or any friends, they would enjoy this just as much. I think it is adorable. Especially for a child, they would get a kick out of this. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, share my videos, and I will see you in the next one. Have a happy holidays.